This week's ParenTeen prompt is it possible to date seriously in high school? What might some reasons for dating or not dating be? If you have someone you're interested in but want to wait until you're older, can you just be friends until the time is right?
I feel as though teens should reconsider the decision of dating seriously in high school, especially if they want the relationship to end in marriage. As a busy and overwhelmed high schooler, the thought of having a serious relationship at the moment is just not something I can even fit into my schedule. Not only would it not be fair to me, but it wouldn't be fair to them. To be in a committed relationship, one must make time to be with their partner and make them their top priority. And as teenagers, we have so much going on with just like choosing the right college or finding out who we are that we don't even have time to sit down with family and friends or even ourselves and breathe. Personally, I know that when I began to miss the mark with my walk with Jesus, it's always whenever I don't make time for him in my schedule and or put my quiet time on the back burner of my everyday. So why do that to someone else, let alone someone I'm hoping to be romantically involved with? I believe that the idea of just being friends with this person you plan on marrying later in life may sound like an easier solution, but as many say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. To be honest, the best thing one can do in this situation for dating or a potential marriage is to reconsider. Not just because it may be too soon for you to begin dating with the busyness of life, but to take a second and ask yourself, do I even know who I am? Am I really ready to submit to a husband when I'm struggling to completely and wholeheartedly submit to Jesus, and vice versa? So, to conclude, no, I do not believe high schoolers should date seriously in high school. I do believe we should wait till we are older and wiser and we have our feet firmly planted in what Jesus says and not what society may say is the right timeline for my relationship. Thank you.
The answer to this question definitely depends on your definition and purpose of dating. So, even though I dated in high school, I don't feel hypocritical in my response because it's in those experiences and now 49 years that I've lived on this earth, and definitely the lessons that I've learned here at Under His Wings from all the countless stories from the girls and the families that I am sharing my response in a compassionate place. So, I do believe that in the early high school years, you're still forming your personality and your convictions, and you're learning about who you are and maybe the type of person that you want to be. So, when you add a component such as seriously dating someone, it can become distracting. And sometimes it can bring on unnecessary emotions that are so heavy and too heavy to handle at that age. I think it's best to encourage your teen to go out with groups of friends and foster and cultivate the friendship. So, really, ultimately, the person that you marry should be your best friend. So, it's best to remain in the friendship zone until you're both ready. But even after you graduate, high school it can be difficult to maintain a relationship because graduating high school is a big transition year, and you probably shouldn't add another decision in your life, such as a serious relationship, to consider because it becomes to be like a heavy burden to bear at such a young age when you already have so many decisions you're having to make. Like, well, are you going to go to college? Are you going to go to trade school? Or are you going to go straight into the workforce? If you add a relationship component to it, it gets a little bit trickier. So, biblically speaking, I caution against dating because we are all born insecure. And we spend a good portion of our life trying to find our worth and affirmation, what others say about us, and that tends to become our identity. Our worth and our identity can only be found in the one who created us, God. So when we date before we're secure in our own identity, we start to run the huge risk of making that person that we date our idol. We don't even realize it until the breakup, and it feels so devastating. It hurts. I've seen it. And there's an activity I do that illustrates this. You take two different color construction papers and you put glue marks every time, representing each time that you spend with this person. And then I put the two papers together and then I let it sit. Well, the longer that you let those papers sit together, the more that the paper starts to become, together and they stick together. Well, when you start to pull it apart, what happens to the paper? Both sides of it are torn and the colors are mixed. Well, that's what it feels like. It represents what happens in a relationship and the hurt that can take place when a relationship ends, because it feels like a part of you is broken. So I do understand wholeheartedly. I understand the temptation to date because you want to fill in the loneliness that's there. And also it's nice when you're flattered and someone likes you. Trust me though, the best relationship that your child, your student should be cultivating, and us even as adults, this really is not even an age thing, but we should be cultivating the relationship that we have with God through Christ. So there's a verse in the Bible that talks to the daughters of Jerusalem. He urges them not to awaken or arouse love until it's ready at the right time. It's from Song of Solomon 8:4. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. So the choice is yours, but so are the consequences. And I pray that you choose wisely for the season that you're in.